Why is this film called Sorcerer again? I am the Wiz! Alright everybody, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. If you like my review, please leave a like at the end of this video. And if you want to watch more, please subscribe. I do 3 reviews a week on this channel. Alright everybody, for today I am reviewing the 1977 film Sorcerer, starring Roy Scheider, directed by William Friedkin. Usually the type of films I gravitate towards are films with rich storytelling, well-defined and realized characters, as well as a sense of emotional resonance. And yet, Henry Georges Clouzot's The Wages of Fear is an experience that is hard to forget. It didn't have any of those things I usually look for in a film. But what did I like about The Wages of Fear so much? It's raw, unbridled tension. It's a film that will keep you on the edge from the beginning of the film to its very end. But if you told me they did that story again, but added those things I usually look for in a film, I'd be thrilled to watch and experience it, right? And I was thrilled to experience Sorcerer, William Friedkin's take on George Arnaud's book. By the time the film ended, however, there was a bit of a surprise that crept into my head. Yes, Sorcerer takes The Wages of Fear and adds a load of detail about the character's backstory to give the film an emotional attachment. The film is about 4 unfortunate men who are tasked to travel through the jungle carrying unstable nitroglycerin in the hopes to get paid a lot of money for risking their lives. It provides more depth than Clouzot's film than unfortunate people who are tasked to work in a dangerous mission. Sorcerer also has a more stylistic look in the way it shoots the action. The color of the jungle, as well as the many scenes that show the danger of what's on screen, looks gorgeous. Some scenes to note are the bridge sequences in the rain. And I'm going to note here, the shots in some of these films are actually very beautiful. There's a lot of vibrant blues and greens throughout the entire film of the sky and of the foliage that's in the jungle. But some of the scenes in the film, I think, are really well shot in the way they frame what's going on in the action sequences. But I'll get to that more as time goes on. And yet, Sorcerer wasn't nearly as effective as The Wages of Fear. And the answer why is simple. The tension is gone. To me, The Wages of Fear is a film that simply asks, will these men survive? You know next to nothing about them except that they are poor and desire money. And yet, the tension of the film was so palpable that a 2.5-hour runtime became exhausting to sit through, but in a very good way. Wages also had this dark, simple look that made everything so matter-of-fact, and the runtime was justified by creating that quiet tension that made a simple bump on the road feel scary. Sorcerer honestly asks a different question altogether. How will they survive? Sorcerer's 2-hour runtime is half character building and half the actual journey. By the way they broke the movie up alone, there really isn't time to build up any tension. Sorcerer truncates the exciting parts by piecing them together on top of each other. This lessens the tension greatly since the film relies a lot on action set pieces and not creating space where it feels like something can happen at random at any time. On top of that, the added backstory to these characters doesn't help or hinder the story. It feels almost unnecessary to have these scenes in the film where you could have just let their personalities make up for their backstories. Some of you might ask whether my review is tainted by watching The Wages of Fear, and I honestly don't think it is. While they are from the same source material, they are both very different films, but I honestly think The Wages of Fear is a better film. That doesn't mean Sorcerer is bad, it's actually a good movie overall. It just feels like a watered down version of The Wages of Fear, but even that is still a good movie. Now, before I get into my rating, let's see what other people think about this film. Letterboxd users has it at a 4.2 out of 5, and this is the 211th out of the top 250 narrative features on Letterboxd, which to me is a big surprise. Rotten Tomatoes has it at a score at 82%, and this was nominated for 1 Oscar, which was Best Sound, which I have to say, that makes sense. The sound design was really good in this film. I am giving Sorcerer a 3 out of 5. I still think Sorcerer is a good film, and some might debate whether me liking The Wages of Fear so much is the reason why I think so little of Sorcerer. And I really don't think so, but I will say that if you really have an aversion to watching a foreign language film or a black and white film, I would say Sorcerer is a good movie to check out, but I do vastly prefer The Wages of Fear. But I do like the stylistic choices that Friedkin used in this film to just paint the picture of what's going on. But the lack of tension is really felt in this film compared to The Wages Wages of Fear. And that is why my rating of Sorcerer is going to be less than The Wages of Fear. So, overall, 3 out of 5 for Sorcerer. You can rent it on Amazon or Apple TV if you are interested. All right, everybody, let me know what you think of the review. Thank you again for watching. See you guys next time.
It's risky moving one of those cases 10 feet. That fire is over 200 miles away.
If it were up there, could you use it?
I suppose we could boom load it a little bit at a time, yes? How the hell are you going to get it
It's
up?
not your problem. We'll get it up there.